Hi everybody, welcome to Stacy's Art Studio and Gardens. It is April 2021 and it's time for the vlog. Let's see, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the garden, of course, because it's that time of year. We're going to talk about art because you know how I am about art. We're going to talk about lotions and oils and balms. And we're going to talk about experience. And we have a little Snickers dog in here with us today, so camera might move just a little bit. He's being funny. You know, he's old, so he acts weird sometimes. Well, he's probably acted that way his whole life. So, because it's this is gonna be like a normal vlog, so it's gonna takes a little time. So you'll be able to watch part of it on Instagram, and then you'll have to pop over to YouTube. But if you're on Facebook, all you do is click on it, and you can see the whole video right away. So I hope your March went really well. I had a great March. I really enjoyed sharing my favorite business shares. That's a great fun thing that I've started. I really enjoy doing that. The Monday morning teas that I have with everybody, really enjoyed the feedback from that. I hope you've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed all the tea. It's been great. And I was worried at first, will I have enough subject matter to keep doing it? But so far, it's going fine. And I don't think I'll run out of things to say. I can talk. I can really talk. Let's see, I'll tell you a story. So when I was, I don't know, 4 or 5, that age group, I went and stayed a weekend with my uncle. And he brought him back. When he brought me back to my mom's, my mom came out of the door. This is the story she tells. I don't remember it. My mom came out of the door, and my uncle gets out of the vehicle, and he looks at my mom, and he says, "Does she ever shut up?" And my mom says, "No, she even talks in her sleep." So there you go. I'm a talker. So I probably won't run out of subject matter. I apologize for that camera moving again. Silly little dog. Anyhow, so March was going to be project month, and it turned out to be start the projects month. I didn't say that I was going to finish them, but it was probably in my head that I was going to finish them in March. And I think I say this every year. March is the month. I'm going to do all the work in March. Never works. That's okay. Life flows. It would be really boring if it was just like that. Anyhow, I have projects started. I have the slats on the decking that I put on top of the cement brought together, so I need to get more slats to fill that up on half of the decking. So I got that part done. I have some beds partially amended. I have the compost pile by the aspen trees and leland tree in the back corner covered. I have some composted mulch started in the front yard in the desert cottage garden. And I have some goodies sitting right here. I've got some strawberry starts that I'm going to be putting into pots this week. I've got a little muscadine vine because I just felt like I wanted another one to put in the ground. The other ones I have out there are in pots. And then this makes me laugh. This is a tree. It's a very tiny tree. To be fair, it is a dwarf cherry tree. But it does feel like it may take a while to be a real tree. It's okay. I'll take care of it. It'll be okay. I got my rain barrels in. The ones that I got to replace the bad ones that I got last year. They looked really pretty, but they failed. So I have a new set. And if these fail, I don't know what I'll do. But they're pretty nice. And they're here. I have to trade them all out now. So the back gardens are pretty messy. I have a new plan for the wall where the fence is. I came down and we have it jammed up there. I think we're going to build a really interesting planter that's high, and then we can put plantings on top of that so that we get height without interfering with the fence wall. So that's going to start in April. So that'll be a fun video series for you guys to watch. You know, last year I did the lime wash on everything, so that was kind of a fun series. It was very messy. So we got that to do. Art. I've been doing a bunch of these little pieces right here. They're all behind me here. I've got several of them. These are the small, the 4x4 ones. Just a bunch of little light colored, fun little mountains that I've been working on in little pieces. And I have not started a large piece. I really couldn't decide. That's what happened. I couldn't decide what I'm going to do. Sometimes in my head I have too many ideas, and when you have too many and you want to focus it on one piece, then it gets really muddled, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to be how do I put it? Very focused. I want it to be a focused piece. So sometimes I procrastinate a little while before I get started on like a long piece, because I'm really thinking it out and what it's going to be and what it's going to do and how it's going to look. And right now it's still a little muddled, but I have the idea in my head. And also I had to decide. I was thinking I was going to do acrylic just because it dries faster. But really, I really love how oil works. So I have gone ahead and made the decision, the next large piece, not large piece, but the long piece. It'll be either an 8x10 or 11x14, but it takes longer to do, is going to be in oil. So that was my first thing. I just had to make that decision. So hopefully we'll have some videos for you. And of course, last year I said, okay, I'm going to do garden all summer and then I'm going to paint in the winter. And I'm not sure I'm going to stick to that rule completely, but I do know that I will be slowing down as far as what I'm doing for painting, because gardening just takes up so much time. And now Molly is in the other room barking at the ceiling. We're a barky day today. So that's what's going on in the art. Now let's talk oils and lotions and balms. There's fabulous. So, you know, if you follow me on the YouTube channel, I have in the past done a lot of videos on showing you how I make stuff, and I haven't done that for a little while, and it is just because I can't handle that much stuff going on after just opening up, going ahead and offering the stuff that I make. I really love doing that because it has been my goal, and I've said it a lot, is to help people learn how to do this themselves. And I still have that goal. It's just that so many folks really wanted me to make this stuff for them, and I found the right products so that I know that it's really good quality for you. And so then I was able to go ahead and start that. And there's a lot of moving pieces in getting things up and running. And I had a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas, and I had a lot of things that I make and have made for a really long time. But that means you've got to put it together, and you've got to have the packaging, and you've got to have the shipping people, and you've got to have the website set up properly. And then you have to have it made so that we can photograph that and make it out there for you to see. And so it's taken a lot of time getting all those parts together. And anytime I add something different, I have to go through a process, just for me, of dealing with all those moving parts, adjusting when we have difficulties, technical complications. I don't like how it looks, stuff like that, lighting, all these things need to be adjusted and go into like a flow, a pattern. And it takes a little while to get that pattern to work. So that's kind of what's been happening, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't done any videos on how I make products, but I will. That will be in the future when I can get things kind of in play, in a pattern, and so that it's working well. So don't give up on that. They'll be back. It'll be back. I like to be very, very open. I know when I show everything, I know it can be used for someone else's gain. But that's okay. I want it to be out there for you to learn how to do it if you want to learn how to do it. It doesn't matter if I have a little bit of loss from that. Because if I have to do it my own way. I have to do it with an open heart and open information. That's just how I have to do it. And whether it's successful or it fails, as long as I do it that way, I have no regrets. And then I was going to talk a little bit about how sometimes we get paid in experience. You know, over the years, that's one of the reasons why I love small businesses, because people in small businesses are honing a craft. They maybe have honed a craft, or they're honing a craft that they're already good at, but they're making it better and better and better. And when you work with someone in a small business, it's an artisan. It is a personal thing. And so that's why I love small businesses. I'll talk a little bit more about it in my small business videos, which I've really enjoyed doing. I think I mentioned that. We sometimes, though, when you're going through all these things, sometimes you have to look at it as, I'm getting paid in experience. And in the past, when I was younger, I didn't really see it that way. But now I can look back and go, well, I learned this, and I learned this, and I learned this, and I'm so grateful that I learned everything before I started doing this now, putting out balms and things of that nature, art, working in the gardens. Sometimes you need to hone your craft, and while you're doing that, you're just getting experience, and that's all you're getting. But it will be of great value later. You know, I think of my mom, and when I was newborn, I believe, is when she started an internship with an upholsterer, and she learned hands-on from a very experienced man. And then she started her own business, and she has great skill in that area. I didn't learn that, but she worked very hard at this, and I remember watching her growing up, all of the hard work that she put into her business and her product. And she did that by being paid in experience. And I think that sometimes we don't look at it that way. We, take some classes, we go to schools, and that's all good. But then we don't have experience, and we need that experience to make it all come together. And so as I've looked back over the years of all the things that I've learned, and some of it you've watched, particularly my camera work on YouTube is just awful at the beginning, awful, and it's still not great. But I can certainly see the progress in how I've learned to handle a camera better, make sure I've got the right lighting, and also be okay with being on camera. That took a lot of years, actually, for me to be accustomed. I'm okay with it. I'm not great with it, but I'm okay with it now. Sorry, Snickers is knocking the camera around, silly dog. And so, those early times, I guess my point is if your business growth is slow, sometimes that's a good thing. And so that's how I've always looked at things. Sometimes my business is running slow, and sometimes it's a lot. And when it's in the slow times, I'm like, this is when I need to get more experience, and I can have more ability in the art in particular, in the gardens and things like that, and grow knowledge with that sort of stuff. So I'm very grateful for experience, and sometimes it can feel very frustrating during the process, but I guess my point is don't give up. It's a good thing. Experience is a good thing. It's a good teacher, especially when you're focused on it. When you know this is what I'm doing. I'm learning right now I'm learning. And I feel that way. I'm relearning how to run a business of natural products through the internet, which before I had been doing it through like farmers markets and things like that. Art I've always done through the internet, but I hadn't always done the lotions and balms and natural products that way. So I'm relearning things, and so sometimes when things are bogged down or problems come up, I always remind myself I'm learning how to do this in a new way. And I think that it's always changing. Things are always changing. My studio is always changing, and that's okay because it adjusts to your needs and how you work and what you do. So anyway, those are my subjects for this month, and I'm looking forward to April because of a lot of things going on, and I have lots of pretty new things. Well, they're not new, they're stuff that I've always done, but I'm adding to the shop. And I want to also say the comfort boxes, the responses I've gotten have been incredibly beautiful, and I will talk about it a little bit more on the Monday morning tea, but I am so grateful that everyone has really enjoyed them, and I am so glad that in those boxes I have been able to give a little comfort to different ones. And I'll talk, like I said, I'll talk about it a lot more on Monday morning tea. But many people have responded with it's really comforting, and that was my goal. And so it's a beautiful thing because I enjoy making it. I enjoy putting it together. I am grateful when someone purchases it, and then they get the joy of getting it and the comfort of the things in it and the little surprises that are in the bags and the boxes. And in fact, on Monday, I don't have it right here, but on Monday morning tea, I'm going to show you the new size for the mini box. I got a little bit bigger one because the smaller box that I was using, I just couldn't get enough things in there. So I got a little bit larger box, and I'll show that to you on the Monday morning tea. And the price will stay the same. I just wanted a little more space. So anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out with me, watching all my crazy little videos and listening to me talk. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to a new month and a new growing season, and I hope you are too. Remember, always be gentle with yourself because there's only one you. Bye guys.